What I'm about to show you is a salt and oil candle. This is done with a tiny glass with coconut oil, cotton wool, and a toothpick and some coarse salt. So you can see I've got a toothpick, and the earbuds I'm using there is just a source of the actual cotton wool at the ends of it, or you can just use standard cotton wool. With these toothpicks, I just need to see if they're the correct height. So if I had to use it in this glass, that would have been correct. But in this plastic container, I just want to see what height I need. So it's going to be the height of the container and a little bit above it. And sort of that's going to be the level that you're looking at. And then I'm going to place coarse salt inside of it and take the cotton wool off the earbud, wrap it around the toothpick, and place it in the center of this little candle design that I'm doing. So I'm throwing coarse salt in it. This is, you can get it for 13 Rand a pack. This pack that I got now is, it says kosher salt, but it's got iodine in it. So I don't consider it as being kosher. The kosher salt shouldn't have iodine in any case. But this is a coarse salt, so it's not the very fine one. It's a nice and coarse, and it almost looks like rock salt. It's got those little chunks, and you can put in any type of salt that you want to use. I prefer just using this. To get the cotton wool, I'm going to pull it off this earbud, rather strangely shaped earbuds, but this is what it is. These modern earbuds are actually quite a nice idea. The stick part there is actually compressed paper. So you could even use that earbud as your part that you're going to put into the candle, but I'd recommend now using it like this, taking a cotton wool, wrapping it around the toothpick. Now, because I think everybody's got a toothpick or a piece of stick around that thin, wrap the cotton wool around it. And if you have cotton wool, normally, in a cotton ball or any other format, you can just take it and wrap it around the toothpick. In this case here, I have these earbuds lying around, so I'm using the cotton wool at the end of it. So wrap it around nicely. And then once we have it wrapped around, we're going to sort of stick it in the middle of the salt and then fill up the rest with a bit of salt. And don't mess as I'm messing. Just fill that up so that the salt does something to the candle. I'm not going to get into the technical side of it, but one of the key parts is also just to keep the stick or the wick. And if you have a candle wick, you can use it there because it will be able to stand up straight. You probably have to make a hole first, and then because the wick wouldn't be able to push its way down like the toothpick can. So push it and compress it nicely. So what I'm doing over here is exactly what's here on the other side, except what I'm doing now is to use the vegetable oil. This vegetable oil that we're using, it gives a lot of smoke, and it's normal oil that you cook with. Some people recommend, even if you've cooked with the oil, you can take off after the cooking, you can filter it and still use it. You'll see it gives off such a lot of smoke, and I wouldn't recommend using it. Rather get the coconut oil that I'm using here, or you can use something like avocado oil or pure olive oil. And the reason for using that, I think it's called a high smoking point. It doesn't smoke very easily. It doesn't burn and smoke or place out. So this is what I'm doing here now. I'm doing sort of a clone of what you're seeing on the left there with a coconut candle, but I'm using the vegetable oil candle. And I think the purpose of doing this is also just to show you how much smoke comes from the one and how the other one is. So if you look at the coconut one there, you could have the salt even being a little bit lower and the oil being a bit higher, then it will burn for much longer. I've just almost stopped the salt to the top. There's no reason to do that. It's just part of the demonstration that I was doing. So yeah, I have to just compress some of the salt over there. I think I've put in a little bit too much. But yeah, usually I wouldn't make it in a plastic jar because, heat can start getting to it as the wick starts to burn down. So a nice little small cup, or any size cup that you find good for yourself. So I'm going to clear up all of this, and just to understand that the design of the two is exactly the same, except for the one has got the one type of oil, which is coconut, just on the left, and the one on the right has a vegetable oil. Of course, the vegetable oil is going to be much cheaper, but oh yeah, for some of you are thinking, why is the coconut oil looking in a liquid form? Isn't it solid usually? It's basically because of the temperature that we're in now. We're in summer, and it's just naturally. So if I move the wick here, you'll see it's got the paper, the toothpick with a cotton wool wrapped around it. Same like this one here. Okay. And if you want to be more conscientious, you can wrap the cotton wool a bit more neat. But the cotton wool has to be soaked in some of the oil so that it will burn nicely. So what happens is when it burns, it pulls up more of the oil from the bottom into the wick or the cotton wool. So you'll find the oil going down, and you constantly will have to top it up. That's why if you leave a nice layer of oil on top, it will burn much longer before you have to top it up. If you don't, it's going to go and start burning onto the salt quite soon. Okay, so yeah, the one on the left is coconut oil, the one on the right vegetable oil, and you'll notice very soon you'll see the smoke coming from the one on the right-hand side. Lots of smoke. And maybe also it's unfair in that it's outdoors, so I will take it indoors to show you that there is still quite a bit of smoke coming from the vegetable oil one. So yeah, and that's just because maybe it's what they call a low smoking point. So there we have it indoors. The left-hand side one is the coconut oil. You can see the right-hand side one is still kicking off a lot of smoke versus the left-hand side one. So again, I'll recommend, a coconut oil, what's the others I mentioned, avocado oil or olive oil. And that should keep you good and going. So that's how you make your beautiful salt and coconut oil or salt and oil candle. And this will burn up for hours. And you can just top up the oil occasionally. Just make sure that when you go to sleep, don't leave the thing burning overnight. I usually put it in a plate, so if anything happens, it retains it in the plate or in a little bowl. Great. Have a fantastic day. Be blessed, and shalom to everyone.